Hey everybody! So last night we went to an event celebrating the Geocaching International Film Festival for 2025, GIFF 2025. It was hosted by two local geocachers and it was overall a great experience. Good atmosphere, community came out. It was great to see so many people that I've met through geocaching. There was popcorn and geocaching themed cookies and of course the films. I think the film selection this year was amazing. I'll do a whole other video on the films themselves, but let me just say that they had some of the most creative videos that I've ever seen on the topic of geocaching. There was some great stop motion animation, there were some documentaries or mockumentaries, there was some great comedic writing and personal stories. So there was so much creativity from the filmmakers of this year's selection. So things were going well, and then we get to my video. So let me just set up some context here for a second. In the GIFF film reel, at the beginning of each video, there is the title of the film, the geocacher name, and the country that it comes from. So here's an image of mine. It's not a great picture, but you kind of get an idea of what we see. So there it was, my title, my geocaching name, but then you'll see that the country that it was submitted from is listed as USA. And I am not from the USA, I'm from Canada, and I'm based here on the Pacific Northwest in British Columbia on the unceded territories of the Coast Salish peoples. Okay, so why is this important in the first place? Well, I mean, first of all, when we put work out there, any kind of creative opportunity, you want to make sure that you have accurate information. But more to the point is representation. Representation matters. It matters where something was written, where it was filmed, where it was edited, where that creativity comes from, and the community that you represent. That all matters. And even though this is a global game and an international film festival, I still felt that responsibility to represent the local geocaching community here in Vancouver, the community that has been so welcoming to me in the years that I've been playing this game. And I think it's important to know where that comes from, because this film wouldn't have been possible if not for the local community that I know here in Vancouver and the experiences that I've had geocaching in British Columbia. And also, I think maybe now more than ever, it's important to have this distinction between our neighboring countries. And this is of course mainly because of the politics between our two countries. But this is just our reality. This is the context of the world that we live in today. But it is important to make that distinction. And because this is a global game that we play, and because this is an international film festival, it's just important to recognize where all these contributions and submissions are coming from. So how did this happen? I actually heard about this little mistake before I went to the GIFF event, but I wanted to see it for myself in person before I said anything. When I did hear about it, I started going through my brain, worrying that maybe I messed it up. I started thinking that I put in my submission wrong, that maybe when I submitted my film, I messed up my address, I put in the wrong country. And you can go crazy trying to think about where that happened. So I didn't want to do that, and I'm not putting the blame on myself, neither am I putting the blame on anyone at Geocaching HQ. There are so many hardworking people there who have dedicated their time to put together this film festival for all of us to enjoy. And it's easy to make these mistakes when you're dealing with a lot of different things that are on your plate. So we'll just chalk it down to a typo that possibly got overlooked. All I'm doing here is acknowledging that it happened and putting out some correct information so that I could properly represent my experiences as a geocacher and as a filmmaker, because it's important for me to represent the community that I come from and the land that I have the privilege to play this amazing game that we play. So if you do get a chance to see the films, just know that when it says USA under my name, that should read Canada. Also, I just want to add that my experience throughout this whole process has been wonderful. It's been really great. I'm proud of the work that I've done. I hope that I've done my community proud. I'm also just really happy that people all over the world get to see my work. I feel really honored by that. And overall, it's been a really great experience. So that's it. I just want to acknowledge that it happened. And that's really all I have to say about this. What do you think?